Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building Repertoires using Chessable. In this series, I take brand new openings that I've never played before, and I'm learning them for the first time ever using Chessable courses specific to each one. So I'm working through the courses, and after you see me play these openings in my blitz games during the series, I'll cross-reference them with the Chessable course to make sure I'm playing the right way and making sure I'm learning and improving for next time. So I hope you guys really enjoy the series, and I hope it gives you an insight into how to study and improve at chess. First game of the day, 2200. Gonna jump to some 3-minute games, and we'll always be checking our Chessable course to see how we did after. Okay, knight c3, bishop f4 was g6. Bishop f5. This will just castle. I think I'm probably going to start pushing this a pawn. It's usually what happens. I wonder if he's intending knight d7 and e5. Kind of looks like it for some reason. Maybe this one as well. Let's just do this. Because if he goes like that knight, I don't think it's that scary. Because he can't quite go e5. He decides to go here. Should we be going bishop d3? I'm going to offer that trade. If he takes, I think I'll take with the pawn. Maybe queen b3, but also trying to get that moving. Don't think we need to actually push that. Let's just move the queen. Rook b1. Yeah, he really wants to play e5. Understandable. So there is the move g4 that he has to reckon with, but he can take there. So yeah, we're just going to take this for now. We might end up taking again, but I'm going to consider perhaps leaving this bishop on the board. What do we think of this? What do we think of this? I think I might do it. So I think he'll put the bishop back on this diagonal. Could go here. Both moves look very good, so don't think he can go wrong. I'll definitely go rook b1. Not only does it support the pawn, but maybe also offers the move b4 as an idea. How dangerous is this? I don't think this knight can be kicked off that square. Okay, making way for the king as well. I don't think he wants to trade queens, so we'll try to use that against him. Okay, 96. We'll go back here. C2, just so that, okay, in case there's any doubling, I'm ready for that. Do you think we'll want to go b4 here? Just finally make a threat against b7. A pawn will be weak, but I'm hoping that b7 will be weak as well. And I'd like to play g3 in general, just to have an escape square on a light square. I don't feel very comfortable with the bishop there like this. So unfortunately here, he does have knight c5. So I'm probably just going to avoid that and go here. c5 we can take. I like this move for me because now my pawn is safer, and I don't think he can really be playing b6 at any point. So this is an idea, rook e7, blunders knight c6. So would love to see that. I think it's really hard for him to defend this without blundering knight c6. So we'll see how good of a job he does. Just start with this move. If we go here, then he can go here, or he could go b6. So can we... I really want to play this move here. It just doesn't work, though, I think. So close to working. I don't think it did. My knight, unfortunately, gets trapped in there. Love to play that. I think he's definitely going to start pushing here at some point. Like, kind of have to. Let's go here. He's going to push b6. We'll go back. Let's just imbalance the game completely. I think this will be the hardest to react to. Yeah, I think he played a pretty good game. There wasn't a sizable advantage for either side, maybe. I always had the feeling that I was slightly better. But I think, surprisingly, one of the biggest moments for me was actually this queen trade. I think black should play any one of these moves. Any one of them. Would have been better than what he did. I felt that trading queens was very nice for me. So I don't know if it was a bad move, but just in terms of how the game went, from this moment on, once we traded queens, I did feel that I was kind of in control. But as for this opening, I do wonder after rook e8, how am I supposed to be playing this? Like this is fine, but right here, this is the exact moment. I didn't really know what to do. I decided to go for this. I'm wondering, like, should I be going for something like g4? Feels like if I don't go for g4, then he's just playing a knight move. e5 is happening. So I found this... I think the position's good, but I found it a little bit tricky. So bring the bishop back, like to e6, for example. Maybe we go here, or knight e5. Maybe this is the way to play it. King g2, bishop g3, knight e5, and maybe f4 or something. So yeah, maybe we'll give this move a try next time. I felt a little bit lost for what to do in this position. Maybe g4 is the answer. Also e4. For some reason, like, totally forgot that e4 is a whole idea here. How often am I seeing the King's Gambit at 2,000 plus? How often is a good question. This will test my estimation abilities. I can remember probably no more than 4 King's Gambit games. And that's since, like, I don't know, maybe 1800 or something. Just in my last couple sessions. I usually do 100 points a session. So, I don't know, maybe 1 in every 15 to 20 games. The King's Gambit is still more common than the English. The English is something I almost haven't seen, surprisingly. Like, I actually can't remember even a single English game. So yeah, King's Gambit, not too popular, definitely more popular than the English. And every time I get it, it's a pretty stressful game because there's so much to remember and it's so easy to go wrong in the King's Gambit, at least with the lines that I'm playing. There are some more tame approaches to the King's Gambit, but the lines that I'm playing are quite risky, and I've gotten into some trouble before. Right, chess 313 313. Everybody in the 313, put your motherfucking hands up about me. Okay, bishop b4. Not really sure what's happening here. Very quick bishop move. I mean, I'm just gonna go here. Don't think this is a problem. After this, though, it's the equivalent of me not playing knight b5 and just playing e3. So, just kind of feels funny. Guess we'll play a3. Feels kind of gross. I'm not sure. Not sure how to feel about this. Okay, I think I'm gonna play some weird. He's gonna go after this pawn. Okay, we're gonna go for some weird stuff over here. Bishop h3. Didn't really know how to handle this, and I have to admit, it felt really natural what he did. So definitely caught me off guard there. I don't think I'm used to that early move. Okay, let's maybe go here. Knight g6. I actually don't think it's a good move. Queen b4 though could be nice. Wants to bring the knight back, then I don't think we'll trade queens. Okay, he offers me to take. I don't think I'm gonna do it. Let's at least make the threat possible. Yeah. Let's go back. I want to play g5. I think it'll be nice to play a4 if I can. Trying to stop this. Of course, I want to play g5, but I just have never been a fan of allowing knight h5. So that's why I've been holding off on that move, even though it's like so desirable. Knight f5, we can also grab it. So I guess do we go here? It's actually a little bit tricky. More annoying than I'd like. My queen is the piece that's really stupid, so I'd like to play this, I think. ASAP. Yeah, so queen takes 92. Okay. In the interest of time, I think we should do this. It isn't the best, but it means that we're not going to flag or something, and or sorry, it means we're not going to get mated, and we can definitely flag. '95, checkmate. It's not going to blunder it. Let's get this pre-move in. We do blunder an exchange here. Good game, good game. Not sure if I made the right choice to get the queens off, but I thought that it would be a little bit better to test my speed rather than test my ability to navigate a position with my king out in the open. Yeah, I'll freely admit I was quite bothered by the opening. That I just need to know how to really deal with bishop b4. Like, am I scared of bishop takes and doubling my pawns, or am I not? I need a firm understanding of that. So I'm not sure that this thing will be exactly in there. I think I always play queen d3. That's my instinct. But sometimes, like, you let the pawns get doubled. So I have a hard time differentiating. Yeah, bishop b4. So there's only one line in here. So let's just check it. It is queen d3. But I feel like I have so many questions here. Yeah, I don't think I've actually seen this one before. Yeah, so this is the line I remember. So here I remember queen d3 and bishop takes and knight d5. But this is basically with the move d5 instead. Wow, g4. What the heck? So g4, queen g3. This is very interesting. So g4 and just take this pawn and okay. Not really sure what the ideas are in that position, so that's now going to be the first thing I look at. But yeah, I guess the idea is queen d3. Personally, I'm wondering about c5, so I'm just gonna plug it in here. So a3 takes, and if takes here, I guess just take back. Or maybe there's this. Yeah, I was just thinking of it, and it is the best move. Because takes here with these knights coming out, I didn't like. But this is really specific. If you don't know this move, this whole thing is kind of a problem. And still, I'm not fully convinced here. But let's say the knight's hit, you have to move it. So we're hitting this. Can't take it, though, because of that. It does seem, though, like on the next turn, we can move our bishop. Let's say here, and we'll be able to take this. Interesting. Hey, Seth. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, Darkbone. Ever present. And if knight here... I think queen takes, we go e4. We've seen this line before. C takes g4. And what's the situation with this variation? I'd like to know what moves we're supposed to be coming up with next. It looks like a lot of e3. So definitely e3. A lot of queen h4. A lot of this position being a draw. Okay. e4, e5. You might get a repeat of last game. So we'll go knight f6. We'll go h6. d6. Okay. c3. Guess g5. Huh? You guys on drugs. So I think he wants to go here next. For example, bishop here. I can only suspect that he wants to do this. And I don't think it really works, but I'll ask the question. I think we can just go bishop here now. I don't think after g3, rook takes h4. I think my position is going to be quite overwhelming there. That's an immediate sack, followed by knight g4 and queen h4 here, and I have a hard time believing in my opponent's position here, so yeah, I much prefer just go ahead, sack it right back. Obviously, this knight takes g5 move is complete nonsense. I'm sure we can drum up an attack here. We have the bishop also joining in the future. Let's see what we can do. So I think we can just go here, and I think this will be like a forced win now. There's really not much that white can do. I mean, h3, like, sure, you can do it, but you're definitely going to get sacked on in every which way. Let's go knight e3, and takes will get mated in 2. And it's just a very easy game. I mean, we have to have these easy games when people are playing such nonsense like knight takes g5. I mean, not even going to insult the author of our Chessable course by checking to see if this one is there. Spoiler alert, it's not. Yeah, I mean, knight takes g5 is just nonsense. So, yeah, rook takes h4 is a good move here, but the only way that this knight sack is scary is if you're already castled. If I'm not castled, remember, I can go bishop here and there's not even a pin anymore. So it's not even like my bishop's here and there's a nasty pin. No, I can block the pin. I can trade the bishop. Like, there are really no threats here. d4 with the white pieces. We'll follow up with knight c3. And after g6, we're going to play e4 and just go back into this stuff. Okay, so we're ready for whatever our opponent might come up with. I think after knight here, we want to just play d5. Okay, knight back. I think it was bishop e3. Here, it only makes sense to take. A knight here, but I don't think we're certainly not going to give the bishop for the knight. So what about this? That's a really bad move, so definitely don't want to do that. Knight d4 seems to make sense here. Obviously, h3 will be a great move as well. Couldn't really decide. Both moves look good. Maybe knight to d5 can happen soon as well. Yeah, he goes for h6, which I think is a interesting move. I think it's probably wrong, but let's see if we can go out there and prove it. So we want to take here so that we can take here next. We could have maybe taken on g4 first, but I think this kind of accomplishes the same thing, but liquidates further. And yeah, I think we just win a clean pawn here. Let's go threaten this. We also have this queen c3 move, which is super strong, very underrated. Yeah, so he's gonna go here, which is a little bit surprising. Um, I'm gonna go for this. I'm expecting him to go queen d4. Didn't really consider any other move than queen d4. So let's see if this works. It seems quite risky, but jump in with rook d1. c5 is possible. Didn't see this move at all, and that's a whole heck of a lot of time down the drain. unfortunately. I was only looking at knight c2 and c5, which I thought I had a good answer to both of those moves lined up, but as for this, we don't really have anything other than 40 seconds down on time. If I can put that next to my accomplishments. Okay, take here. Go in for b3. Also go in for f3. Get the king up. You always have g3 to watch this pawn. You can play c5, but I don't know if you want to have that piece jumping around in your position. So I'll just go ahead and take. So I'd love to find a way to give that pawn up. I'm sure there's an easy way to do it. Yeah, let's just simplify. Hopefully the position is easier to pre-move there. Ooh, I should have played king e3. This was a mistake. Okay, well, maybe c4, we have a chance here. Check. Yeah, and it should just be a draw. Ooh, he goes this way, so he's definitely going to try to flag me here. It's 100% a draw, but definitely easier to play for me. Yeah, I don't think he should have done that. I mean, you always go in front of the pawn, so I don't know if he was doing it to flag me or if he just went the wrong way. I think going in front of the pawn would have been a much easier draw. So again, not that much there, other than a huge miscalculation on my part. We just got a little too fancy here. So simple to just take the pawn. Queen d4 is a really nice resource by him. But it's not nice as in like, wow, he found it. It's just like, it's a nice one for the position. I thought that I was going to do this, go rook d1, and I tunnel visioned on like knight c2, and I was going to go rook e2. I thought, oh, c6, takes, rook c7. I was like, oh, there's some good chances there. But knight e6 was just a much better move. So then, obviously, with all that in mind, I think just knight takes and returning back is the best way to handle it. Rook d1 is like an engine move, literally to stop that. And then in 10, rook e1, queen c3, knight c7. So this is a top tier move. I probably would have just gone for knight c7 though. Did rook e6 work after knight e6? Yeah, it probably did, but honestly at that point I was just kind of shocked. This is a good move, but I just hadn't seen it. So if I reached, like chess is all mental. If I had reached this position intentionally, I probably would have seen rook e6. Because then it's like, my mental is not like, oh shoot, I just missed this great knight e6 move. Like I hadn't considered this move at all. So if I was in a different mindset, probably would have seen it because this is a fantastic move. And it actually kind of justifies my whole thing in a way. I thought this move was just completely missed by me. Didn't consider it. And I was like, oh my God. Covers everything. So I wasn't in the right frame of mind to start calculating some whole other brilliant rook takes e6 move. But you're absolutely right. Rook e6 is a lifesaver. A lucky move for me because definitely did not calculate this. Ringy dingy dinky doo. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the 14 months from you. Yeah. Well, that sucked to ruin a pretty easy opening, like just up a total clean pawn. You know, all we need to do is stuff like this, maybe f3, knight d5, but instead I went for here first, and then I just didn't take the pawn, and it's as if I want to work hard. It's as if I want to make it more difficult for myself. What am I doing? But we pick up the win anyway, just on the clock. And we'll go on to the next one. All right, knight c3. Okay, so c5, we'll go d5 and then e4. Knight a6, I feel like we're not going to touch that. Definitely want to play a4. And I'll probably play a5 here just to stop this. So e5 now. Yeah, I think he wants to do this move. Let's go for this. I want to plant my knight in there, or you can go ahead and take me, but I'm actually not sure if this is what you want here as black. Let me go attack this knight now. Okay, so there's some, funny business against the rook here. So I do feel compelled to put this on a safe square. Let's go do this. So rook back to a1. c3 is a great move. Next, to just kill that diagonal. Is he intending this? No, that looks crazy. Let's just do this. Really useful move. He might go knight d7, but it drops the pawn. So it feels like he's, he's really tied up right now. Does he want to go here? Maybe. I think we can just... Can we just push through right away? It's probably unnecessary. Go here. Yeah, I was thinking about this, but I'll let him do this if that's what he wants. Now we're hitting this pawn. We got this or this coming next to hit that pawn. Seems very uncomfortable for him. Okay. Guess we'll take and play this. I was going to go here, but that is technically dropping that. So let's use this rook. Feels a bit awkward, but let's do this. Queen b3 maybe. Or just double. Not sure. I can actually go maybe queen b3. Be a little nicer than trading, giving him on the d5 square. And yeah, basically any queen trade will be like amazing for us. Okay, yeah, that's unplayable. Yeah, really surprising that he traded queens there with us. That's like an immediate loss. OJJ, hey buddy. Why, thank you, thank you. Is this in the course as well? Actually, it was. I think all this was in the course. The only lines that really get discussed are bishop g4 takes on f3, though. So here I was more or less on my own, but I have some understanding of how to play against the Benoni. a4 after a6 is a must. Every single time you see a6 in the Benoni, must play a4. No debate. So I like my position here. Thought we played it pretty well, and black seems to be completely tied up. Very uncomfortable. Yeah, so this is just a very, very strong position. The Benoni will be like that, though, especially this Benoni, which is even better to not have that pawn on c4. Yeah, this is just a superior version. Because, yeah, you play bishop c4, and you kind of discourage your opponent from playing e6. That's what it's all about. That's what this line that was recommended in the course is all about. So using the fact there's no pawn there and placing our bishop there instead. All right, let's go again. Aqua Fresca. Sounds great. Okay, we do see knight f3 first. After knight f3, I usually respond with the knight, because if d4, then we're still good. And yeah, this is just a very kind of whatever system. Trying to think how we want to play against it. I'm actually going to play knight c6, weird move, but it's going to let me play e5, and I think I might just go ahead and play d5. Just take the full center. Okay, play this. It goes there. e4 and e3 becomes very tempting here. Because we're with the black pieces, I'm going to do it. If I was playing with white, then I would probably be, well, I would be one tempo ahead, so I'd be like castled, and I might not do it. But here I think e4, e3, especially in blitz, is it's always a kind of fun way to play. So I'm not going to be too hung up on trying to win this pawn back immediately. I don't think that's the way we want to play. Okay, c3 is kind of a weird move, though. Let's go bishop there. Knight here. I think we'll take it. Goes knight here, which is clear where he's trying to go. Back. Okay. Can also go queen here, and then bishop takes e3. That feels like, more likely that he'll walk into this. He does have rook takes f6, but I think bishop e3 helps us out there. Could get a little bit weird, but I think we have that covered. So he'll probably choose to go knight d4. That would be my guess. And now we have to deal with this. I'm either playing g6 or I'm playing h6. Those are really the only two serious moves that I'm considering. And because I've got something hanging here, I think I might need to go with h6. So rook takes f6. We'll just take on g5. It's only kind of hanging, because remember, then e3 starts hanging for my opponent. The main thing with this knight is to avoid taking it at all costs. So this knight, 100% is going to e5. The rook is going to e8, maybe c6 to kill the bishop. And yes, he's got a very strong piece that he can leave there the whole game, but I'm going to work around it and focus my attention on the e file. Never, ever am I taking this. Okay, goes knight here. I'll just take that. As I mentioned, knight to e5. Definitely not in the business of capturing on d4. His bishop is really bad, and yeah, we'll make sure that our bishop stays nice on b6. He wants to go bishop a3. It's a good idea, but I can meet it with bishop c5, or I could go queen g5. Trying to decide which one of those I like better. And it might actually be this. So can he defend this? Not really, actually. I have knight g4. Yeah, if he moves the queen to defend it, then the rook, you really start to feel the pain. So I think rook f4 might be the only idea. Yeah, and he's going to find it. It's a good move. Let's go knight here. So hitting the pawn, but also I can drop back knight to f6. Yeah, he's kind of like just barely covering everything. f3 also. Super annoying here. Let's go to f6 to hit this bishop. Okay, I have to leave this bishop covering f5. Let's bring the rook to d8. I think that'll be nice. Here, maybe we can take. We also always have this. He's had enough. He wants to get rid of this. But I think now maybe is that exact moment where I can try to use the discovery. That was a good move. I didn't properly anticipate that. Sucks to have my bishop blocked like this. Let's attack the queen. It was a good sacrifice. Just in general, with time getting low, I think that was the right idea. Let's guard this. Have to play a little bit defensive, but yeah, this is fantastic now. Bishop takes, we'll take back, and let's just go ahead and take this, and we should be good. Go ahead and get a pre-move there so we can always catch the tricky moves that our opponent's doing. I always recommend that if it's possible for you to make some sort of safe pre-move check, always do it in a time scramble, because if your opponent ever tries a dirty move, the check will be like a great buffer for you to pause and be able to react to it. We'll go for e5 against d4, knight c6. And against this, I think we just go for the 4 knights. Bishop here, I think this is the one line where we just copy our opponent. Now, after d3, I think we play d6. Trying to remember, like, for how long we copy him. Like, do we castle here or do we take, you know? I feel like at some point I'm supposed to take so that knight d5 doesn't happen, but maybe knight d5 is not quite a threat. So let's castle. I'll just go full copy. He takes, we take back. Now there's no knight d5 at least, but he's stranded us with this bishop, which now has to go to b6. So, let's go h6. Definitely want to stop this in general. Yeah, okay. Probably, this bishop has to, it's a little bit awkward on the square that it's on right now, I have to say. So let's just spend some time to bring it back to b6. If you want to go here, I think it'll only benefit me. Whoa, c4. I think I'm happy to see this move. What's going on with c4? Takes, we take with the a pawn, should be kind of nice. He goes queen d2. Not that I'm really scared of this, but I'd like to play for f5 here. So I'm going to play this move anyway. Not really because of this, but hey, I don't mind helping out. So maybe he's going to get the move f4 together. Just throw the queen out. Knight f5. I don't actually know if that's good for him. Let's go to f6. I mean, basically, I just got my queen to f6 for free, so I'm not going to complain. a5 is reasonable, but I think I do want to be taking back with my a-pawn here. I'm hitting this, so he doesn't have time to play d4. I'm also threatening bishop takes h3. So I have a few ideas in the bank here. Might need to move the knight now. Goes here. Again, I'm not really sure what he's up to. Yeah, don't really know what this was all about. There's multiple pieces hanging. This knight h5 g4 thing was kind of nonsense. Okay, wants to go rook here, but that doesn't seem overly dangerous. But what I am going to do is I'm going to play g6 just to cover the knight getting into my position. Let's keep this pin active. Okay, bring this here. Incidentally, I'm threatening knight b3. Honestly, rook takes here is probably a very decent move, but let's play the greedy. Let's play the greedy rook a2. I think it's a very good move. I want to play knight e6. That's like a just star-studded move. Let's do this. Rook f3. We just move the queen, and then we get the knight in. To be quite honest with you, I don't even have to move the queen. I think we can just go here. But, yeah, I think I'll move it. It's just easier. But yeah, I have knight d4 and knight f4, so even this allows knight d4. I didn't even have to move the queen because of this, but I think I'll just err on the side of caution and make the safe move. Notice the pawn on g6, total hero. Yeah, just stopping absolutely everything. If you went here, we had queen h4, rook here, knight there, and then rook takes, queen takes mate. And this isn't going to be much better. GG. So it's like this. Knight c3, knight f6. Bishop b5, bishop b4. So yeah, d3, I knew we weren't really supposed to copy this move, but I hadn't seen it before. And knight d4 is definitely a brand new one, so I'll definitely look at these lines. I'll show you the lines I was looking at. Castle, castle, d3, d6. You know what I mean? So the move knight d4 is just a good move to play, probably because d3 is maybe not so accurate. So I can take advantage of the situation and play knight d4. But the position that we got in the game was this one, which is totally one that I need to know as well. So bishop takes, b takes, knight e2. And this is good to know, d5. So I'm actually going to look at both lines. So I'm going to look at this because I need to know this line. And then apparently d3 first allows knight d4. So I'm also going to look at these lines. So I have a pair of things to look at right now. I'm going to jump into this. Okay, so this was basically after d3. I can play knight d4. If bishop a4, we just take. What the hell is this line? Like, honestly, I almost would rather just keep copying with d6 rather than play this, but okay. Okay, yeah, bishop c4, and then d5. Spicy. d5 and bishop g4. God damn. Now, this looks like trouble for black. I would assume it's like lost. Or sorry, trouble for white. I would assume it's lost. It's not actually, of course, but when I see these double pawns, I'm like, nah, this can't be what you're supposed to do. Next. B3. Okay. Well, I don't really have anything specific against this. I'll go knight c6, knight f6, just nice and simple. Against bishop e5, I'll play e4. This is a line that I kind of like. Okay, castles. Gotta be a little careful there, bud. All right, let's take. The reason why I'm not scared of this is because I'm probably going to castle this way. Wow, what a move. Holy smokes. On take. Okay, well, I'll take the free tempo with bishop h3. Why not? And queen d7 or queen e7, it's kind of hard to say. I guess I'm going to go here. And yeah, we won a long castle, I believe. Okay, a4 makes a whole lot of zero threats. Let's just go g5. I'm definitely playing quite aggressive here. Okay, it goes like that. I think we want to just play g4. Wow. There's f4. That's interesting. Don't know what this pawn actually does. One thing I need to be careful of is this square. So knight here, trying to access that is reasonably annoying, I'm not going to lie. So let's cover it. If you go f5, that's fine with me because then you can't use the square for your knight. So I'd actually love to see f5. And if this, I think bishop c5 is killer. What I'd like to do is just play h5, h4. But my opponent is trying to play knight d4. Very reasonable. So reasonable that I almost want to go here. Just to stop it. And yeah, next we'll go h5. Okay, so yeah, this move is happening. But we also got the pair of bishops here. Just bring the queen back, I think. Yeah, he doesn't want to see me push. So this might actually be a very good move. I'm not sure. From practical sense, it does seem to be pretty decent. So on the topic of practical moves, I'm going to play f5. I think this is interesting. Could be suspicious, but I think it's kind of cool. So need to guard this pawn at all costs. So that means this. Yeah, cannot afford to give that up. d4 for him always looks a little risky because it opens up the square. He goes b5. It's a pretty good looking move because he gets d4. can we go for this? Wanted to be able to play this without allowing what I've allowed here. Okay, I'm gonna take now that he can't go here, and I really don't want to let him. Yeah, let's play this. Really don't want to let him push that pawn. So I think I've actually made a decent achievement here. 92, we can take that pawn. Rook d4 is about to happen, right? Rook d4 92, I couldn't quite. Couldn't quite understand what to do there. It's a good move. Ooh, unfortunately this, he has takes and knight d6. I didn't see that. That's a nice move. We'll have to just try this. Probably this is the best way to go. Rook takes c5. Yeah, thanks. That's the only trick we had, but we had to kind of get him to cooperate with us there. Obviously a little bit lucky there. Definitely didn't... yeah, opponent played very well. Like, I was super impressed with the beginning, or sorry, not beginning, the middle of this game. I think we were both basically trying to achieve something. I thought my position was great, so I'm not unhappy with the opening, but I needed to navigate the middle game a lot differently. 94 to just trade things off would have been fantastic, because I really want to get rid of this knight and play h5, h4. Let's go in for another one here. We're going to play this knight c3, bishop f4, a6 gets met with e3, and bishop f5, we'll just play knight f3 to knight e5. I think that's the plan. Okay, h6. h6 is an interesting move. Someone played it against me once before, and I guess knight e5 is the way to go. I know I played a game like this with g4. Yeah, I think we can do this. Takes, we can take that. Goes back. Let's play this. Takes, knight takes. I think your knight gets kind of trapped in there. Looks wrong. I don't know if it's worth it, but like, yeah, I was gonna say c5, knight g6. There's c4. It's not really good. c5 makes a lot of sense. Should probably just castle. This definitely looks slightly concerning, but we'll go here and we'll blast things open with e4 ASAP. I'm castled and literally all my pieces are developed, so even if he tries things like this, like, no, it's time to open the center. Yeah, this one I'm going to play without any thinking. Just, it has to be the move, because I can't let this happen and have my knight have to retreat. So this is a move I'll play without any calculation. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going to blast things open down the middle. I don't know how he's going to survive here, but that's his problem. I'm going to let you calculate, my friend. I haven't calculated shit. I'm just going to play e5 and put the burden on you. You've got 2 pieces developed on move 12. Like, moves like b5, honestly, they do look really scary to handle, but when you take a step back and you're like, wait, it's move 12 and Buddy has 2 pieces developed and he's nowhere close to castling, as soon as you like do that, it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm not scared of anything here. What the hell am I worried about? Again, I think this is going to be a very like loose calculation type of game. Because d5 is kind of looking like a snack. Looking like a snack. I don't think we can. I can't sit here and calculate for too long because the position just needs to go. Like this is not something where I'm gonna let him. I guess I'm just gonna take. Just hope it works. Goes here. Just take it. I think I'm succeeding in opening the position. That's for sure. Takes. So he's allowing me to take here. I'm not sure if I should do that though. Yeah, I think this will be a pretty nice. He'll probably go here, and then rook here is a really nice way to win with rook e3 at the end. So he'll probably miss that, to be honest. And we pick up a nice easy win here. Just blasting open the center. Can't take my opponent's position seriously when he just does not prioritize development, not castling, nothing. GG. Easy win. We'll play knight c3. We'll go for e4 and d5. Now, I'm trying to remember if this is mentioned. I mean, I'm assuming it's just e5. Knight e4. Definitely does not look correct. But yeah, I'm really just trying to remember. Have I seen this? Just go here. Normally h4, h5 against the setup is super, super effective. Goes for this, and we're probably going to ignore it. Toss this h-pawn up the board. Yeah. Do I want to go here? Here's an interesting question. For now, I'll just go here. Oof, okay, it goes h5. Bring the knight out this way. Bishop d2 to start that. He's going to take this. That pawn's actually defended now, which is kind of useful. Okay, let's just get my king kind of out of the way. Okay. Play g3. Kind of a yucky move to play because I love how useful my rook was there, but some things you gotta do. Let's fix this king. Jeez, he's really asking for it with that move. That's quite the move. Okay, g4 is definitely screaming here. Let's start with this. Queen d2. Whoa, what the heck? What's this guy up to? He just wants to close the whole game. Honestly, just because of who this guy is and how he wants to close everything up, I think I'm going to take here. Like, yeah, I don't win the exchange anymore, but I feel like this position is the exact example of what you don't want. So let's see if I'm right about that. Can we do this? Because queen takes is kind of a funny situation where you lose your rook. Your entire rook, by the way. Yeah. Caught him looking. Caught him looking there. Get him out of here. Yeah, you know, it was an interesting move that he did. It was a real tough decision here. Bishop takes f8, for sure a better move. Like, there's no doubt about that. But I'll present you with the following position and say, you know, this is actually kind of tricky, right? As soon as I go f4 or here or whatever, like black's gonna consolidate, almost force me to play f4, or I'm just not getting anything going. And what am I gonna do on this side of the board? Like black goes here and here, and I have 0 threats. So I think I made the right choice, especially from a practical perspective, to take. Then these pawns are super weak as a result. And yeah, I can play f3, g4 to like try to bust the position open, but I'm also at risk myself there because all my pawns are in dark squares. Opposite bishops makes it pretty tricky, and I just can't guarantee an open line there. So yeah, amazingly, f5 in this position is actually the best move in the position. It's actually the best move. How crazy is that? f5 is the top move here. Because if rook e8, well, then I was thinking g4, and I don't know, maybe queen d2 first, but I was just thinking g4 blasted open. Maybe bishop takes h5, but I like g4 more. Queen d2, rook over. I mean, I don't see anyone surviving here. You made it to the end of yet another episode. I hope that this was really informative, letting you guys know how to study chess, how to improve at it, and how to use Chessable as a tool to help do so. At the end of the day, I think it's one of the best ways that you can learn openings, and I think that this series is a pretty good example of that. So if you liked those courses that I was working through, or if you wanted to pick up different ones more specific to your repertoire, make sure to use chessable.com/chessbrah if you're going to upgrade to a pro membership. That's all from me, and we'll see you in the next episode.